We're gonna start. Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Her Journey, where the H.E.R stands for Healing, Evolving, and Redefining. And so, as we often say, we are all on a journey. We are one giant book. We may be in different chapters, but we are all on a journey. So this podcast is a platform for women to share their stories, to inspire, empower, uplift other women, because sometimes we think we're the only one that's going through something or have gone through something, and we find out, no, someone else has gone through it. And I believe that there is power in telling your story, and it just gives others a pathway to know that you are not your current circumstances, that you have the ability to rise and become your own champion. And so we want to create a safe space that women feel like they can come and pour out and give back and even take in. And so this is what this platform is. And we find amazing women, sisters all the time. And tonight, again, we have found an amazing sister, a beautiful sister. I have known her for some years, and so I've known her through my sister, but she has a beautiful spirit. We've had opportunities to have some conversations, and I just thought this year, I'm like, who, Lord, show me the women for 2025. And she was one of the women. And when I asked her, would she be on the podcast, she graciously said yes. And so we are here to hear another amazing woman shed light and tell us her story, and we can learn from her. And just as a way of encouraging. Um, and I'm gonna call her I'm gonna call her my sister, but Yay is her name, and she's gonna tell us a little bit more about us, about herself. I'm gonna let her introduce herself to you. I know she is a businesswoman. She does some amazing work. And so I'm going to let her tell us a little bit about the work that she does, so that we can learn about that. So without any further ado, we are going to present to some and introduce to some. Yay. So good evening.
Hi, Jackie.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. So tell us a little bit about yourself
So
and what
first,
you
let
do.
me say, when you said you prayed about the women for 225
Yeah.
and God mentioned my name,
Mm-hmm.
warmed my heart because
Oh, thank you.
really that filled me because it
Mm-hmm.
means it means that He's using me. And
Mm-hmm.
I ask every day. I
Yeah.
just tell Him every day, just use me, just use me, just
Yeah.
use my voice, just use me
Mm-hmm.
to whoever I talk to, whoever, had me say what you wanted me to hear. So when you
Yes.
said that, it was confirmation that He answered my prayer. So that just warmed me all over.
Oh,
So,
that's beautiful.
so my
Yes.
name is Yaejide Muhammad. And
Okay.
I tell people to call me Ye because no one ever gets Yaejide.
Yes.
I
Oh,
legally changed my name 5 years ago.
okay.
So my family and my old friends call me Robin because
Mm-hmm.
I was born Robin.
Yes.
Um, it doesn't really bother me, but
Okay.
I have my own business. I have new people in my life over the last 5 years, and I tell them so that they're not like thrown off when someone comes in and says, "Where's Robin? Robin here." They don't know who that is.
Right. She doesn't work. We don't know who that is. Yep, exactly.
So
And can
Jackie,
I
you
ask
met
a
me as
question?
Robin.
Yes, I know you as Robin, but so when I saw your name, I'm like, I always want to be respectful. So in that regard, can you tell me a little bit about the inspiration of like your name change? Or how did that come about?
Well, so how much time? Because I can talk. So my first name, I wanted my mother's name. And my
Okay.
mother's name is Joyce. And my mother
Okay.
passed away when I was 2. And I never grieved her until I was an adult. And
Mm.
I was in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Grieving, crying just wasn't something you did
Yeah.
as a kid in
Mm-hmm.
my house.
Mm-hmm.
In my 20s, I started to talk about all the things. I didn't have a voice as a little girl.
Okay.
And so I grieved and I over my mother for like 20 years. And when I came to a place of acceptance where
Mm-hmm.
I don't cry anymore,
Okay.
I just wanted to honor her. So,
Mm.
so her sister and brother, my aunt, and my uncle,
Mm-hmm.
who both had a hand in raising me,
Mm-hmm.
just out of respect for them, I asked them if it would be okay with them if I changed my name to Joyce, and they were both adamant about no, you may not.
Oh,
We're not calling
really?
you Joyce. No, we are not. That's our sister. We're never going to call you Joyce. So I said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yeah.
my mind, I'm sitting there going, you know, I don't need your permission, right? Um,
Right.
but
Oh
at the
God.
same time, I had studying the Yoruba tribe because I
Yeah.
believe that that's where my ancestry leads back to. So
Okay.
I got a Yoruba book of names, and I found Yaejide. It means in the image of mother.
Oh wow.
So that's why I named myself Yaejide. And then
Okay.
the little girl inside of me went like this. I would
I
never do
love
that to
it.
my uncle. And I also changed my last name because I am a member of, I don't know how much I want to say.
Okay.
I wanted to give up my slave name, and I wanted to take a righteous name. And
Mm-hmm.
my son, who is 26, I named him Malik Muhammad. So I said, okay, I'm gonna change it to Muhammad, and I match
Mm-hmm.
myself. But I
Mm-hmm.
named him Muhammad at birth, so
That's
that name
beautiful.
matched.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely. I love that. I love that. I'm always curious about why people do something. I'm like, so I love that. That's a beautiful way to honor your mom. You know what I mean? And you was just like, yeah, okay. You didn't want to give me choice, but we still got it. In this way. So we still represent that. So that's beautiful. So tell us a little bit about the work you do. I know you do a lot of work for, I'm gonna say, Black and brown folks, if I'm not mistake, or I don't know if it's for the masses, but I know particularly for them. So tell us a little bit about the type of work you do in your organization and all that good stuff.
So I started my own private practice um, called Yay Center for Healing and Development, and I'm a BIPOC therapist. BIPOC is a word that is becoming more and more and more widespread, but for
Okay.
people who don't know what it means Black, Indigenous People of Color.
Oh, wow. Okay. I was gonna ask you what it meant because I did not know. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's starting to be a lot now. So, um, because the need to have therapists of color and Black therapists is becoming more and more evident. Uh,
Hmm.
when the women come to see me, I ask them, why'd you choose me? How'd you find me? Why? And they
Yeah.
all tell me that they wanted a Black therapist.
Wow.
So I opened Yay Center in May 21.
Okay. Wow. I didn't know that.
And I was seeing, I still am seeing mostly Black, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cape Verdean women. I've had an Asian woman, I have a Cuban woman. Um,
Wow.
I have men that I had maybe two or three of them, and now I transfer them because my gift is with women and children.
Okay.
Men have another, they come with a whole set of other stuff that
Yeah.
I know about.
Okay. Okay.
And so I also have a nonprofit. Um, right after opening Yays in May 2021, I lost my son Sharieff in December 21. And so I
Okay.
started Sharieff's project in memory and in his honor,
Oh, nice.
to honor his legacy. So I'm actually running two businesses.
Wow.
Sharieff's project,
Yes.
so Sharieff's project started with children healing by expression, because children can't speak like we do.
Yeah.
They, they can't tell you how they feel, and
Hmm.
they act it out. They have tantrums, they scream, they cry, having fits.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we did music and drummer, and we had an African drummer, and all kinds of expressive arts kind of stuff for kids, which I personally really love. Okay.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The drums,
Yes.
the drums will wake up the epigenetics in your DNA. When you
Hmm.
hear those drums, your
Yep.
ancestors come alive in your DNA, and it's
Yes, that
a lot of
gets down
fun.
to the soul. Yep.
And so I recently got a grant to teach first, second, and third graders reading, writing, comprehension.
Oh, you
Because
are
they feel,
multifaceted.
yeah.
That's so-
And I also wrote one for a program for women for domestic violence.
Really?
I don't know if they're gonna give it to me or not, but we need it out here
Yes. Yeah.
in Rhode Island, where I live.
Okay.
Um, you have to go through a database called CES. So if you're running, you
Hmm.
got dark, you go to the hospital, you leave there, they might not, you have to go through CES to get in a
Oh,
shelter, there might not be a bed.
okay.
So I wrote a grant for urgent crisis, women in
Hmm.
crisis who have children who
Hmm.
need an immediate. So Sharice's
Yeah.
project is going to do all kinds of stuff.
Wow, I love that. What a way to honor him. That's so beautiful. I love that. Yes. Ton, you are a busy lady. You are busy, busy, busy. So, in that vein, I think one of my, the questions I was thinking about being so busy, what do you do for self-care? Like, I always say you can't pour from an empty cup, and self-care is not selfish. And as women, we're always, pouring into others, doing this, doing that, and we just don't take the time or make the time, right? Because we got to make it to do something for ourselves, and that is equally as important, I think. So, how do you fill your self-care cup? Is there a regimen?
You
With
are
the
getting
expression,
me
I think you're answering my question.
You are
Um,
getting me in so much trouble right now because I tell my clients all the time about self-care and giving from an empty cup. Oh my God, I hope none of them see this. Um,
oh goodness. Yes, we are
so
sometimes the worst to be an example of,
yes,
of that.
but I will say that I didn't know that my spiritual routine in the morning um, is my self-care.
Okay.
And the moment I open my eyes,
Yeah.
before my brain gets to start thinking about what it should worry about. What was I
Yeah.
worried about last night? Oh, there it is. Got it. Let's worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I won't let it do that.
That's good.
As soon as I open my eyes, I start saying thank you. And it's
Mm.
it's kind of superficial. But for the first 17 seconds, I heard this from another motivational teacher that first 17 seconds, keep your mind going. You set your
Hmm.
mind the way you want it to go. So
Hmm.
I'll say, thank you for waking me up. Thank you for watching over me while I slept.
Yeah.
Bathroom now. Thank you that I can. Thank you for the
Yeah.
roof over my head. Thank you that I have running water. thank you.
Yeah.
And saying, I'm looking in the mirror, thank you that I can see. And thank you that, and then the thank yous become more real and less superficial and more,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for saving my son from that car accident.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that that's so I like the word intentional because it grounds you for the day and it sets the atmosphere for your day. So I have a spiritual ritual in the morning
Well, that
too.
was
And
just, that's
yep,
just
no,
the,
go ahead.
I mean,
Yep.
it's more.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm sure. But I just love how you wake up being thankful, that spirit of gratitude. But yeah, but no, continue, please.
I found that I need to start saying thank you before my feet hit the floor. Because if I don't start saying thank you, my mind, all of us, the energy
Yep.
in our mind, boom, 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 boom. Oh, I
Good.
gotta do this
Yes.
today. I gotta pay this bill, or I forgot to call that one back. Like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yep.
So I need complete and total silence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and after my thank yous, I read a scripture from a holy book that I have.
Okay.
Same one all the time. Um,
Okay.
and I light a candle
Okay.
and I honor my mother, my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother, her
Mm-hmm.
mother, my mom.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I thank them for making it through the most inhumane conditions ever, and
Mm.
tell them that if they didn't make it through, I wouldn't be here. And if they
Mm-hmm.
making it through, and I ask them to walk with me, help me.
Wow. Yeah.
There are things that they can do
Yeah.
for me. Uh,
Yeah.
so I honor them, I acknowledge them, I light a candle, I light incense, I
Mhm.
sage my house,
Okay.
then I
Mhm.
listen to something motivational.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. It it may vary a little, but that's usually
Mm-hmm.
the baseline.
Mm-hmm. So
Um,
you do have a self-care regimen. So they can see this.
oh,
Because
well,
I
they don't
think
know this. See, I don't tell them this. I don't tell them this stuff.
but and when I'm listening to you, I'm like, you do have a self-care regimen, like, and it starts, it's like it's your, the beginning of your day and all the different things you do. So that is self-care. That is self-care. So you are preaching what you are teaching what you are preaching. Yes. I don't know why you think you got frozen for a second. I don't know if you can hear me. Can, can you hear me? You are muted. Okay, I say
Okay,
something.
so
Okay,
my
okay.
power went out
Oh, that's
completely,
okay. Oh,
but thank
really?
God I had never hung up my phone. Remember, I said I'm not gonna
Yep,
hang
you
it
see?
up.
Yep. So God has a plan. Like, this story needs to be told. No, we gonna keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. So, I believe I will say yes, you do have a self-care regimen. What you do in the morning sets your day, sets your atmosphere. Um, so yeah, so you can be proud of that. And what I was saying, I don't know if you heard me, I said, what you are teaching, you are walking it out. So yes, so they can see this and be proud, like, yeah, she does do what she tells us to do. Maybe their self-care regimen looks differently, but it's still taking that time out for yourself, and that's what you do. If you were to define success, what would your definition of success be?
Freedom, joy, abundance, prosperity, and love.
Mm, okay. All right. And if I were to ask you, love is, how would you complete that statement?
Life, peace, fulfillment.
Very good. Very good. And I know in the beginning I talked about the what the H.E.R stands for, which was healing, evolving, and redefining. So when you hear those three words, what do you think of? Like, give me three or four words to describe you or what you feel when you hear those words, healing, evolving, and redefining.
You would have been speaking Japanese to me if you had said those words to me um, before I was like 30. Um,
Mm,
so I have been healing.
hmm.
I have been on a journey. What comes to me is my process. Up from Maya Angelou's poem, "Still I Rise."
Yes.
Up
Hmm.
from a past rooted in pain, still I
Mm,
rise.
yeah.
Um, those acronyms
Hmm.
describe. That's what they describe for me.
Okay.
I am
Okay.
not that little girl who was so hurt and just had no voice and just I'm not her anymore. Did I
Okay.
answer your question?
You did answer my question. You did answer
Okay.
my question. And so, given what you just said about the little girl, one of my questions is, what would your grown woman today say to that little girl? Like, what would you say to her now?
The grown woman would say, "You are so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You're so precious. And
Yes.
you are so smart. And you can do
Yes.
anything you want to be. And because people treat you badly, it's not your fault."
Wow. That's so powerful. I love that. And
Mhm.
you feel like that comes from a place of not feeling those things as a little girl, that now you have evolved and done some healing and done some work to now you can stand in that. I like to say when the little girl is healed, the grown woman rises. So now you can stand in that because you didn't always feel that way. Is that where that's kind of coming from?
That's exactly where that's coming from.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm not sure. Do you want me to explain?
Yes, if you don't mind. Like this is you're gonna help
Okay.
somebody with this.
Okay. So my mom died when I was 2.
Okay.
As a result of, so my dad was driving drunk, um, and had an accident, and my mom broke her ankle and her leg in 3 different places. Uh,
Mm.
now if I tell you the year, then I'll be telling my age. Now you didn't say I had to tell my
You
age.
you know and you don't have to tell your age.
So this was
A while
way
back.
back when, before we had the medical equipment that we have now.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Because now we have medical equipment that will prevent blood clots. And so my mom actually passed away from a blood clot.
Wow, okay.
Like, not from the car accident. Like, her leg was broken. She was in the hospital. She left to go to my uncle's wedding. They didn't want her to leave. And she said, "I'm not missing my brother's wedding." And she left
Okay.
anyway. And she ended up having the blood clot in her leg, went to her heart. And she really went into cardiac arrest at 22 years old.
Wow, so young. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, my grandmother raised me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and not just me. She raised my brother, and she raised my aunt's 6 kids, and she had a hand in raising my uncle's 2 kids on weekends. So
Okay.
the house was always full of kids, and you know, I have my mother had one son. However, my aunt's kids were there, so I have a bunch of brothers and sisters
Okay.
because I ended up being the one to give them baths, put them to bed, pick them up from
Okay.
school, take them out to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell
Mm-hmm. The
Robin to
whole
do it.
thing.
Robin, get them kids. Robin did it. You know.
Yep. The caregiver became the
Uh-huh.
caregiver. Mm-hmm.
Um. So the pain. I don't talk about it much
Hmm.
anymore.
Yeah.
So now I'm like digging to make you understand.
Okay.
I was in a lot of pain. My grandmother was born in 1919 in Sylvania, Georgia.
Mm. Hmm.
Life for her was not no crystal stair.
Okay. Yep.
Yes, that's Langston Hughes. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Um, so life for me was no crystal stair,
Okay. Got it.
and um, I caught the brunt of her trauma.
Yep.
Um,
Hmm.
I was a sweetheart. I was a good kid. Um, and I, but she resented me and she beat me um, when I didn't need to be beat, and
Yeah.
punished me for things that I didn't even do, and
Yeah.
um, dragged me to the cemetery every Sunday or every other Sunday, or definitely every holiday, and
Hmm.
Easter, Mother's Day, Memorial Day, my mother's anniversary, my mother's death, like always at the cemetery. I never wanted to go, but
Yeah.
unlike these children of today, uh,
Hmm.
when mom said, "Get your coat on, we leaving," that's what you
You,
do.
yep.
You
Yep.
don't suck your teeth.
No,
You
ma'am.
don't stomp away.
No, ma'am.
I would not be talking to you right now.
Okay.
You get your coat and you go.
Yep. That's it. That's it.
And
Yes.
the
Hmm.
adults, the adults around me didn't really notice or realize or know what to do about it. I mean,
Yeah.
my uncle tells me now that he knew that I was depressed all of my life. He always,
Wow.
um,
Okay.
but they didn't know what to do about it. And I wouldn't talk about my mother. Somewhere along the line, I was given a message not to bring her up, not to ask any questions, not to talk about her. So whenever they talked about her, I'm like,
Yeah. Trying to get all the information. Yes. Our
I
ears
had
open. Yeah.
so many questions, you know, and I felt that my grandmother hated me, and I just could not understand why she wouldn't just give me to my aunt, my uncle, or give me up.
Hmm.
Or I just didn't understand. Like
Yeah.
I really felt that she hated me, and today I know that, you know, I've forgiven her,
Yeah.
and I
Hmm.
know that she did the best that she could do with what she had and what she knew,
Yeah.
which is what we
Hmm.
all do.
Yeah.
Um, but
Exactly.
but it was not a happy childhood. And my
Okay.
father, I found out, I was upset with him too because I felt like, what kind of man leaves his kid and knows the mother's not there? And I found, you know, I saw him maybe 3 or 4 times growing up.
Hmm.
He would come to see me. He was an alcoholic. He was always crying over my mother. Um,
Hmm.
First time I remember being really afraid. I was like 5, and I remember being scared. And
Hmm.
I was told about 10 years ago, my uncle told me that he was threatened not to come near my grandmother's house because
Wow.
they blamed him for my mother's death. And
Okay.
none of them thought about what it meant to me.
Yeah.
That I would
Yeah.
need, I don't have my mother. Don't you think I need my dad?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I felt unlovable, unworthy.
Hmm.
I also went to school during busing. So
Mm.
that reaffirmed that I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, and now I know the reason why. Part of it is because I'm black. I'm a N word.
Hmm.
Uh, um, the streets were lined with adults, with bats and rocks
Really?
and thrown at the school bus. And you know, I'm 8 years old,
Wow.
and I'm terrified, and I'm hiding
Yeah.
between seats, thinking,
Yes.
oh my God, they don't like me because I'm black. Oh, something's wrong with me because I'm black. Oh, that's why mom beats me. Oh, that's why my mother died. Oh, something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me.
Wow.
And there was no one in my life to say, baby girl, there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something wrong with an adult who would hurt a child.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my
So
goodness. So, yeah, to see you today, to be able to use the words that you just used a few minutes ago when I asked you that question, just shows your growth. This shows that you've done the work. And I often say that in order to do the healing, evolving, like we have to do the work. And sometimes that we don't like that because it brings up the pain, and so I'm like, the only way to get through it, you gotta go through it to get to the other side. And that's where you get to redefine yourself. That's where you get to re-evolve and be like, no, I get to rediscover myself and be like, those weren't truths. Those were truths that were projected onto me, but that's not my baggage. And you know what? I don't have to carry this. And
That's
I
right.
often say a lot of us are walking around with trunks, and we didn't put half the stuff in the trunk. We allow other people to put the stuff in it, and we just dragging this trunk and it's weighing us down. And I'm like, I always have this vision of this trunk and it's just clothes hanging out, and it just says different things like unforgiveness, like not good enough, like all the negative things. And I'm just like, no, I didn't put that in there. Somebody somewhere down the road said that to me.
Yes.
And I believed it. And I'm just like, no, it's time to clean this stuff out. Because we already hard enough on on ourselves. And then we let other people put stuff in it, it just gets weighted down. But when we start to really do the work to reverse that way of thinking, to create new patterns of thinking, talking out loud to ourselves. I always say the best conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. And that, getting rid of that negative thought. And yes, sometimes the negative thought comes, but you got to have a positive thought to replace that negative thought. Like if you don't have anything positive to replace it, now you're sitting here with these thoughts. And I always say our thoughts can take us on a trip that we could not otherwise afford to go on, right? It will take you be like, wait a minute, let me talk myself down. So I'm so proud of the woman that you are, and I like to still say becoming, because I always feel like we're always evolving in some sense, because it just shows that you can still push past. And that doesn't mean that, you know, sometimes the pain or because I've gone through some healing, and then somebody did something and it re-triggered something. I was like, oh, I thought I was healed from that.
Mm-hmm.
But that re-triggered something or re-injured, and I was like, okay, now I got to go back and do some more work because that caught me blindsided. I thought I was good. And so I think the work is what we shy away from sometimes. And I often say sometimes some of us don't want to do the work. So we rather stay in that miserable place because that feels comfortable for some reason. And if we did the work, now we have to redefine ourselves. So now if I get rid of this trauma, like who am I? Because you let that define you all these years, right? So now you're like a fish out of water. Like I only know chaos, so now I have peace. I don't even what am I supposed to do with this peace? you know? And then so I'm
Hey,
always
let me create some.
exactly. Exactly.
You
And
know, the women that I work with,
mhm.
I preach that to them. Like, be aware of your thoughts. Always
Yeah.
be catch yourself thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you catch yourself thinking, then ask yourself where'd that thought come from?
Yep.
Because a lot
Yep.
of them don't know that it's their thoughts. And I named it the terrorist. And I have these little
Oh, I
puppets.
like that.
I got these little puppets, and I get in the air with the puppet, and I go, "Whitey, because you're not good enough, not pretty enough."
Yeah. Oh, that's so good, bro. Yeah.
And they be like, "Yay, stop!"
But
You know,
that's so good.
sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but they don't know that it's what they're thinking. I didn't know it was what I was thinking.
Yep.
Those
Same
thoughts,
here.
all of them were planted.
Yes.
Listen to the adults in our lives, and whatever the
Yep.
adults say is what is.
Yep,
So
exactly. Yeah. And some
it,
of them haven't done their healing. So they're just passing down their trauma, like you said, on projecting on because they're parenting or guiding us from a place of pain themselves. So now they're projecting, and it's just like, okay, somebody has to stop this down because then it becomes generational, right? My grandmother I'm gonna treat my kids, and then they treat. It's just like no, somebody has to be like, it stops with me. Like I'm good. So I think the work is so important. So I'm so proud of. I'm proud of you as a woman just getting to the other side, and that took a lot of strength and courage and a desire to really work through all of that, and now you can speak into the life of another woman and be like, I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. And you can speak with authority because you have now traveled that. And now you can be like, there is light on the other side, on the side. I know it, you can't see it and it looks dim, but keep walking towards it. And you have the tools now to help other women. And you're doing that. Like you're a therapist, you're helping other women. And I love that. That's just beautiful. So thank you so much for not only just going through your journey but giving back, because sometimes we go through our journey, we feel like we're free and we just keep all the information. I'm like, no, you didn't just go through it for you went through it for someone else, to encourage them to reach back and grab the hand of your sister and be like, you can't see the light, but I'm gonna help you. Together we're gonna get there. So you're doing beautiful work, and you're healing women, healing little girls so that they can rise up and become strong women. So it's beautiful. So we need more people that look like you doing this work. Because like you said, I think women, when we go into like counseling or whatever, we want somebody that looks like us because we feel like you can understand our story. And no disrespect to anybody else, but I'm gonna need to talk to somebody that look like me.
I need to talk to somebody that's not gonna me.
Yeah.
That must have been awful. I that
Yeah.
must be sad. That must
Yeah.
be that's not helpful.
No. No.
No. And so,
Mm-mm.
my ad says that black women and women of color need something unique and complex, specific to them.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
one of those things is God. And
Yes, I love that.
a trained therapist is not supposed to say the God word.
Okay.
But look who the fathers of psychology are.
Mm.
None of them
Okay.
you. They were
Mm-hmm.
and they were white men, and they were white middle-aged and elderly men. What
Mm-hmm.
do you know about this little black girl
Mm-hmm.
who thinks that she's nobody?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't study us.
No.
So you can't
No.
say the God word.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I found in doing the work, a lot of our sisters who have been traumatized, have been molested, have been, trafficked, have been just abused in so many ways,
Yeah.
angry with God.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I talk to them, when I do their intakes, I say to them, do you believe in any power bigger than you?
Mm-hmm.
Like church, like, well, it could be church. What do you believe in any power greater than you? Well, I don't believe in God. Okay. Do you believe in any power greater than you? Well,
Okay.
I believe in the universe and energy and, like the earth. And I say, okay, good. I can work with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're not putting together, but I'm going to help them.
Yeah.
Who created the trees, the ocean, the sun?
Come on.
Who created the universe?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get there. We'll get,
Yeah.
as long as
Yeah. That's good.
that, we'll get there. Because
Yeah.
you're so angry with God, you can't, once you get through the anger, you'll believe in him because
Yeah.
he created it. So how can you not believe in him?
Mm-hmm.
So I
That's
don't say that
good.
first visit, but and
Yes.
I didn't get you don't learn that. I didn't learn that in school.
Yeah.
And there's not a
Mhm.
therapist that learns that in school because they don't teach that in school.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's BIPOC therapists. We are
Okay.
God who come from God. And if he's our creator and we're sick and we need healing, why wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
we creator to say, heal me, you're the best healer.
Mm-hmm.
Created me, you know how to heal me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you got a broken TV, and you go to the people that fix TVs, and you go to
Yeah.
that fix this, and the people that fix. Okay, well, God made us.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we go to Him and say, "I'm broken over here.
Yeah.
Help me"? Why did you let me
Yeah.
experience? Why did I need this experience?
Yeah.
And I say that to the women a lot. I say, did you ever ask why you needed to have this experience, and was this something for you to learn? And they look at me,
Wow.
huh? Did you ever ask him why you needed to have this experience?
Mm-hmm.
So, I love the work I do.
Yeah, that's
I,
so good.
I need
Yes.
to have the experiences I had,
Yeah,
work that he has for
as
me.
you do. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I tell them that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I love how you meet them where they are. Like, okay, if you believe in something bigger than yourself, that's good. We can work with that instead of being like, well, if you don't believe in God, I can help you. So I love that you have that insightfulness to be like, okay, that's good. And now we're gonna build on that, because everything you're saying, God is still behind it. But I'm gonna let you say the universe and the tree and whatever else. So that's so good that you make it relatable. And so the women can still like build that trust in you and you still get there. So that's good. That's good. Good, good, good.
Thank you.
Um, yes, you are awesome. So um, one of my questions is, what is one of your biggest challenges? Or what was one of your biggest challenges, and what did you do to overcome it? Or are you still in the process of adapting and working through it?
What was and what is,
Either one was or something that currently is. So however you want to flow with that question.
I really want to answer both
Okay,
because they
please
go to
do. Okay.
what was one of my biggest challenges was letting go of the pain of losing my mother.
Okay. Hmm.
What is one of my biggest challenges now is letting go of the pain of losing my son.
Mm, okay.
And what I say to God, that I say to the women, do you ever ask God? I ask him,
Mm,
God, why I need to have this experience?
wow.
Mother lost a son, loss of love, motherhood, love. That's what loss means. For me, the loss of mother and son is the loss of love.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
nothing happens by accident. And
Hmm.
I just ask him to some days, will you just carry me through this today?
Yeah.
Like I do my work, I go to
Yeah.
great, I do my work, but
Yeah.
sometimes like, okay, God, I need
Yeah.
reprieve, I need reprieve, I need reprieve. And
Yes.
talking to the women, I'm telling them, there may
Hmm.
be a day where there's no power on this earth
Hmm.
can help you,
Yeah.
except who you say don't exist.
Mm. Come on now.
Like, okay, so then you need to go to the ocean and the trees and sit outside and say, universe, help me, because there's gonna be a time when you need to go to him directly
Yes.
and say, help me carry
Hmm.
this. I'm not strong enough today.
Yeah.
Strength today.
Yeah. Yes.
Course, and I know that everything happens for a reason, and I know that I don't have the ability to understand things the way you do. Just will you
Yeah.
just carry me until you show me what I'm to do with this?
Yeah.
Carry me.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
poem, Footprints in the Sand,
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
that poem that I've heard for years, and
Yeah.
I'm an old lady.
You don't look like an old lady, but go ahead, keep
I
talking.
ain't an old lady. I look young. I am. My son is 38.
Okay. You
So
got
I'm
a
just saying,
38-year-old?
I never had a personal connection with that poem until now.
Mm. Wow.
So
Okay.
I know
Yeah.
without a doubt that I have been carried when I
Mm-hmm.
walk.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I want to say, sorry for the loss of your mom and sorry for the loss of your son. I do appreciate that you know where to go to get that strength when you are feeling like, okay, today it's not today. You definitely gonna have to carry me because I don't have the strength within me to do it. You know what I mean? And so,
But
you
what
know,
no one taught me. What if I didn't, like people who don't know God, who don't have
yes,
God,
yeah,
like I don't understand how you live. I
yeah.
can't live without him.
Mm-hmm.
I
Amen.
cannot live without him. I just
Yes.
so we come from him. We're his people.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a BIPOC therapist. And that is what's missing from traditional therapy.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, that's my take on it. That's my opinion. That's my feeling. That's my
Okay.
insight.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'll down, prove me wrong, because there's no research out there.
Yeah. So,
Now,
tell me the name again. A bi, how do you say it? What type of
Black,
therapist? Bipod.
Black,
Okay.
Indigenous people of color.
Okay. Okay. And so being that type of therapist, you are able to use the God word or no? And
I
not
will.
really.
I will use the God word if the woman says she believes in God. Then now I'm free. Okay,
Okay.
did you
Okay.
ask God? Did you tell God before you did that? But
Okay.
if she says, well, I got issues with him. Like I don't know about that. I
Okay.
know. I had a lady whose parents were very, very, very religious, and they were really strict. And this girl, when she became like 17, 18 and rebelled, took off and did everything that her parents would
Mm-hmm.
about.
Yeah.
Um, I said to her, so she was explaining to me,
Yeah.
I'm not religious like that. And I'm like, you don't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be. You just have to have
Mm-hmm.
a relationship with your creator.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
because he said so.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Yes.
people don't, they ain't breathing today.
Yeah.
You eat because he said so.
Mm-hmm.
Food. You know what I mean? Like I make it fun and I make jokes and I make it humorous
That's
sometimes.
good.
And I mean the women come back, so I'm doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You are doing awesome. So they come back because they can sense you're being authentic, you're being relatable, and so you meet them where they are, so they're able to now bridge that trust and then now come back. So that's awesome. So that's a gift because everyone can't do that.
I worked for a lot of different agencies for years. And
Okay.
the things that I do now, because I work for myself, they would fire me.
Okay.
In all of those agencies, they would just fire me. They would just fire me. Like, you
Yeah.
can't say that. You can't do that. Okay, but
Yeah.
that's what it is to hear. We're not
Yeah.
going to act like race is not an issue and just walk around this big elephant in the room.
Yeah.
George Floyd had just been murdered when I started, right before. Um, I think it was George Floyd. I'm not sure, but my last job, I remember talking about. I ran a group for one of my staff. One of my staff was out
Okay.
and talking about parent. It was a parenting group, and
Okay.
and Black Lives Matter was just becoming a movement, and all over the country. Maybe it
Hmm.
was Mike Brown. I'm not sure. All over the
Okay.
country, flipping over cars, police cars, and fire stations, and just rallying all over the country, just rioting.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? When Black women's children, when your son leaves the house, you pray.
Yes.
When white women's sons leave the house, she ain't thinking about praying.
Mm-mm.
She doesn't
No.
need. It's not
Yeah.
even a thought in her mind. Like,
Yeah.
no. So
Yeah.
we are not white women painted black. We have different needs.
Hmm.
I said that in a group, girl. Before I couldn't even get out of the group good before my boss was calling me in the office.
Really?
Oh my gosh. She's like, this is what you use. Evidence-based curriculums. I'm like, yeah, okay. I need to work myself. And God said, okay, yes, you
Yeah.
do.
Hmm. That
And
way you are your boss. You could say whatever you need to say and what God is leading you to say.
I work
And
for
there's
him.
nobody to call you in the office.
I work for him.
Amen. Amen.
He'll
Now, do
call me in
you,
the office.
yeah, exactly. Like he'll tap you on the shoulder, like, okay. Now, do you have other therapists underneath you? Are you just a sole therapist just doing this totally on your own? Your own, I mean, I know it's your practice, but do you have other therapists in the practice with you right now, or it's just you?
At this moment, it's just me.
Okay.
But I am waiting. I had two other therapists and I had two interns. But I am looking to hire at least two black females who are
Okay.
who are experienced, uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can focus on Sharieff's project. So I
Oh,
am
okay.
looking. It'll free up some time for me to write
Uh,
grants. Because right now,
yeah.
writing grants and seeing clients and writing grants and I get an ear and don't check my emails for 2 days and people are yelling at me for it's like, oh, if you know someone who's like minded,
Okay.
who's done their own work,
Yep. Yep.
send them my way.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yes, definitely. So yeah, then you'd be free that because you right now you're doing a lot. That project, you're trying to write grants, you're trying to see your clients. But yeah, so that would be nice if you could get some opportunity to have somebody that you know you could trust and know that okay, they are like-minded and can free you up to do other things to work on your son's project. Yeah. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that because a lot of times we think, well, can I say this? Can I not? You know, we want this platform to be a place where women feel like they can because somebody's going to hear this and can relate to that. And that's what the hope is, that they relate to it. They and they be like, okay, you know what? I'm not alone. Because sometimes we feel like, okay, is anybody else going through this? And yeah, there are other people. We don't always raise our hand to tell our story for whatever reason. And so trying to, tell women to take the shame out of your story. Like, there's nothing to be shameful for. This is, like you said, you went through this experience. We don't always understand it. Like you said, ask God, like, show me, what was I supposed to learn? Because I don't want to do this lesson again. So, please help me. And then help other women. Because sometimes I think, I'm like, if you don't learn the lesson, sometimes if it's a lesson that he really wants you to learn, it comes back in a different form. It might not come back exactly. So I'm always like, okay, so what was I supposed to learn? Because I don't like this lesson. I don't want to repeat this one. I want to pass the first time. And so, it's beautiful as sisters we can talk. Like I always say, like I take the like I love sisterhood, take the pettiness out of it. We are all powerful in our own rights, and we need to uplift and encourage each other with what you're gifted, like what you're doing. We're like, I can't do that, but I can do this. And it's not, and then we collaborate because it's all gonna be for the building of the kingdom. And so instead of being like jealous and be like, why what? No, you know what? You need to see Yay. She can help you with that. Oh, you need to see Jackie. She might be. And it's a beautiful thing when we just come together in harmony instead of all this. I'm not for the negative. Like if you negative, we won't have a long conversation.
Focus your mind on will grow, and I say it all the
Come
time.
on.
I say it all the time, and I've been noticing lately, not even lately, for the past 6 to 9 months, I've been noticing whatever I say to the women,
Mhm.
it happens to me, and I gotta apply it to myself.
Wow.
I was watching,
Mhm.
noticing that. I would say, no, you can't allow that. You got to set a limit on that person. No, you can't do that. What is wrong with you? And so so now I'm like, be
Yeah,
careful what you say. Please be careful what you say.
exactly, exactly. Because yeah, you definitely have to. Oh Lord. Oh, my,
Um, and
sorry,
yeah,
my grandson. He's out. Like you, when you just talked about when our black boys leave home, that we worry about them. My grandson asked to go out this afternoon, of course, that was him calling me, and I was just like, I'm like, call me when you get here. Call me when you get here. Like the same thing you were saying, like we worry to make sure they get to their destination.
I
But
was
he'll
going
call me back.
not from basketball practice at 17 and 18, 17 and maybe even up to 18. And my ex-husband was jealous. And I said,
Really?
why are why are you picking him up? My mother would have been like, I can't use the language. Mother would have told her. I said, but I got a car
Yeah.
and I can go get him. And
Hmm.
I don't want him shot down in the street, stabbed because we're in Rhode Island and we're not from here. Because he got on the wrong
Yeah.
or because they don't know him. No, I'm going to get
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not
Hmm.
breathe.
Exactly. Yeah, men be like, all you coddling them, all you okay, call it whatever you want.
Hmm.
I'm going to pick him up. Sorry.
That's
Let
mother's.
him be a boy.
That's my job. Mother's coddle.
Yeah.
That's why we need mother and father. Mother
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
father do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm
Absolutely.
about gender and roles.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm not.
Yeah, so you're doing this beautiful work. So my question is, which I feel like you know what it is, but I'm gonna ask anyways. So do you know what your purpose is in life? And do you believe you're doing your purpose?
I believe that there's a lot more.
Okay.
So I believe that I am on the road to my purpose. And I
Okay.
and I believe that when I have more peace, um,
Mm,
and the grief is uh, relieved a little
hmm.
more, in his time, that
Yeah.
he has great things for me to do
Yeah.
regarding our people, it's particularly women and children. We
Okay.
we need our own schools.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
I
wow.
My purpose is about educating and healing women and children. I know that much.
Okay.
And there's probably more that he hasn't shown me.
Wow. I love that. So your purpose is still evolving. Like you're doing it, but you know that there's more. So it is still evolving. That's so good. A lot of times when we ask that question on this podcast, we get various answers. Some people are like, I don't know what it is. Some people, I feel like they overthink it. And some people just like think it has to be something I call it camera like action. Like it has to be recognized and everybody know you need to be doing. And I'm like, not necessarily. I'm like, ask God, what's that thing that you love to do that you would do it? Like I always say, even if you didn't get paid to do it. Because a lot
Yeah,
of times we're walking in our purpose already. We haven't gotten paid to. We've been doing this for, I'm sure you've been helping women way before you put up that therapist sign. You know what I mean? And you were doing this all the time. But now it's just like, I want this to be my full-time thing. I want to wake up how doing this. I want to know this is what I've done during the day. And so and I was like, what is that? I'm still, for me, I feel like I'm an encourager. I love to encourage people. Um, and I love asking questions. I'm always the question like, well, okay, you said why? Well, why you said that? And then why you said that? Like I'm always digging at the why. And and so I want people to feel better in my presence than before. When they come into my presence, I want you to feel better coming into my presence than when you leave. So I want to encourage people. Um, I feel like I also have the gift of like teaching. And so there's different things that I'm exploring. I just finished a six month certification to become a life coach. So I'm really, really looking in that. And I love this program because it was a spirit led, spirit filled coaching. So it's scriptures and it's the combination, just the natural piece. So I really love that. I'm really interested in women healing that little girl inside of them, healing the heart of her, rediscovering her truth, moving from just existing to thriving. because she's powerful. And so, because that's a journey that I had to go on to heal my own little girl. And, and so I really want to see women heal her because if you don't, she will show up in your grown woman and you'd be like, yeah, so we have unresolved issues. And
Act
so,
like you ain't got no kind of sense, and the next day you go, "Why did I do that? Oh my God, forgive me. Why did I do?"
exactly,
that?
exactly. So I love, women like you that are doing this work. I was just like, oh, I should have went to school to become a therapist. It's like, so I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to school right now, but I'm gonna get as close as I can so I can still talk to people and be legal. So I'm like, I'm gonna go for this coaching. So I'm doing that. And so my hope is to launch that sometime either this year or beginning of next year. I'm still working on the whole curriculum for the inner healing. And God's just been giving me questions. So I'm just putting everything, writing it down in my little book, and he's gonna have to help me put it together. So I
I
might
got
be I might be reaching out to you to help, like, how do I not, here's everything he gave me. How do I make this make sense and make it a curriculum, or how do I make this a program? Because that's where I get lost. I'll get a bunch of information, but I'm not always good at like marketing myself or packaging it to make it like now I can present it to the masses. So that's for me sometimes not my strength. But you be like, girl, this is good. And I'm like, yeah, but how do I make it? What do I do with it? So I've just been gathering stuff.
Do you know that you just reminded me? I didn't even give myself credit.
But
I wrote a
see,
I wrote a curriculum for Black parents, and Darren's Publishing published it. I know, right?
how did you forget that?
You asked me what do I do, and I'm like, oh my, I did that. They just published
That's,
it like a year ago.
wow, that's huge.
Mhm.
Oh my God. Okay, I might have to pick your brain.
But so to answer your question, I didn't know what I was writing. I was just writing here and there. I'd write something. I'd write something. I'd write something,
Okay.
and then as I started writing random things, then I knew
Yep.
what it was then. I said I'm a
Mhm.
curriculum, so I started writing it like 2 years before I knew what it was.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I didn't tell anyone. I just submitted it to Darren's Publishing. I didn't call
Uh,
nobody and say, "What do you think?" and "Should I?" and I think
okay.
Spirit said, "Submit this."
I love that. I
I
love that.
That's how Spirit works. He says, "Submit this," because it got. I'm a published author.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Wow, I love that.
you might not know. So if you got it together and you go, okay, what do I do with it now?
Mm-hmm.
It's annual. Submit it. Well,
Okay.
so some people were like, after the fact, people were like, "Oh, well, what are they charging? Oh, well, you didn't have to pay that. You could have did that yourself. Oh, there's other places that's cheaper. Oh, you could have did. You could have. You could have."
Mm-hmm.
No, I couldn't because I'm
Yeah.
running businesses here. I can't. I
Yeah.
could. Maybe you
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
Uh, and I don't regret paying the money that I paid and doing it. I don't.
Yeah. And that's too why God probably had you not say nothing, because I call what you just said the noise.
Uh huh.
And so people start noise, and then you would have been like, okay, well, I can't submit it yet because I need to do this and I need to do that. That's why sometimes some of the things God gives us is like, I don't want you to talk about this. This is gonna be between me and you. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna listen to me and submit it, because the people, that's when people start coming in, you be like, now you second guessing yourself. Oh, okay, it's not ready. So that that's why God was like, no, this is gonna be between me and you. And when I say submit, you submit. And now here comes all after. You shoulda, coulda, woulda. Nope, because that wouldn't have worked for you. So I'm glad you was obedient and just kept that to yourself. And now look at you, you're a publisher. That
So,
is
so
so
what
good.
I do is when you say, "What do I do with it?" I say, "Submit it."
Okay. Yeah.
And yes, you can go cheap routes of doing things yourself. But what I liked was they do it all. They put it on Amazon. They send it across the country to all the Barnes and Nobles. They do all of it.
Oh, wow.
They
Yeah,
add,
that takes all that leg work out.
I
Yeah.
didn't have time to
You
be
don't
doing.
got time for that. Yeah. That was smart. That was smart.
Yeah.
Glad you followed his voice and not the voice of people. That can take us off our direction and distraction and all that other stuff. Even though they mean well, that just wasn't what you were supposed to do.
You have a great heart because they don't all mean well. I have learned some lessons from
Okay.
people that I thought meant well. They mean well until it looks like you might be doing a little better than them or more.
Okay.
Then it becomes and
Okay.
little side
That's
comment.
that's good. That's wisdom.
Was
That's
that
good.
a comment? Because
Everybody cheering for you is not on your team, huh?
girl,
Wow.
Denzel Washington got a new YouTube. Do you watch him on? You need to watch him on YouTube.
Yeah, I've heard him before on YouTube.
Oh, that's my
He's
morning.
good.
I listen to
Yeah,
him.
he's good.
He's my latest one. He's my newest one.
Mm-hmm.
He'll
Yeah.
tell you all of that. Be quiet. Be quiet. Don't
Yeah.
tell people what you're doing. Be quiet. Silence.
Yes, I've heard him before. I was like, oh, he's good. He is good. So we know what our purpose is. It's still evolving. What's another question? So who would you say is your biggest cheerleader in life if you have one, and why? Somebody that inspires you. It could be more than one, or however you want to answer that question.
I don't have any cheerleaders,
Okay. Somebody that influences you or
but
inspires you.
I'm inspired by Ian Levinzant.
Okay. Yep.
And one day I will meet her and I will thank her for all that
Okay.
she taught me.
Okay. Yeah, she's so powerful. I love her. She is an amazing. Yes.
And I'm talking before her TV shows, her books.
Books. Oh, okay. Okay. I know more of her watching Fix My Life.
Yeah,
So,
way back, way
uh,
before that.
okay.
My son was in a coma in the hospital and I was reading one of her books.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
it was about life lessons and,
Hmm.
pretty, pretty deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she inspires me.
Okay. That's a great person. That's a great person. And if you were to say about yourself, I know now blank about myself that maybe I didn't know before.
Mm.
We can come back.
You done shut me up, girl. I've been over talking you through this whole thing. I know blank about myself that I
I
didn't know.
know now about
I
myself. I know what about yourself now that you didn't think you knew before.
I know now that I needed constant validation.
Mm.
I recently learned that about myself. And now
Wow.
I've learned that I don't. And I've learned that through meditation.
Okay. Okay.
I trust myself. I don't have to call people and say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I'm thinking that. And what do you think? And I don't need anybody's validation, approval, none of that. And
That's so good.
I got that
Hmm.
food in my relationship with God,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I really
That's good.
that's a
Yeah.
new learning.
Hmm. That's good. I did this thing with this coach. It was called Give God 30 for the month of January. Give God like 30 minutes of worship, reading, prayer, devotion. And it was really, really good. And so she did like a little topic every day, but one of her days was like overcoming anxiety and fear. And I always often sometimes get this anxiousness about me when something's not going right. And I was just like, and then I start calling people like, well, like what you just said, what do you think? Or telling them what happened. But in this 30 day, I was like, I'm gonna surrender my anxiety and my fears. And sure enough, like you said, when you say stuff started happening. And so when I remember the first incident that happened, I was like, okay, typically anxious. And so I found the scripture, I think it's Philippians 4, 6, and 7. It says, be anxious for nothing. And
Mhm.
so I would repeat that to all right, we're not going to be anxious. And I would just go through my day and I find myself, I didn't call anybody. I didn't even talk about it. And I was just like, oh, okay. I was able to just like, okay, God, what do I do in this? And so that's something recently, well, I'm talking January, for me, where I'm learning, like, I'm finding like I'm talking less to people or asking them, even like you said, what I should do, what I do. And, and I remember talking about it weeks later, and my cousin was like, you didn't even call me because she's so used to me calling. She goes, that happened to you? You didn't tell me. And I was like, it was okay. It's okay. And I was like, see, I've gotten people in the habit of like directing me to call them when I'm like going
She's
through.
she's one of them I used to call. You talking about Vanessa?
Mhm. No, that wasn't her. It was
Oh,
one
okay.
of our other sisters. And then, but yeah, and so, but I haven't even been telling her a lot. Even Vanessa, I find myself like not saying. She's like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm, I'm okay." Because then when you start shifting that, people start like they get uncomfortable with the new kind of you and the new process. So they're like, is everything all right? Yep. Because you just been kind of quiet lately. And I'm like, I'm just on this journey of just like really learning to trust myself and
Mm-hmm.
trust him.
That's right.
And I don't need to run to people. I run to him now. I run to him. He's like I said, my first responder is I run to God, his word. And so I find myself talking a little bit less to people that I would be trying to get their opinion or walk me through it. And so it's interesting how I'm noticing people don't really know what to do with that. And they're feeling a little uncomfortable, like, like something has changed. And I'm like, no, I'm just going through a new process.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a new one for me too, self-validation, and not feeling like you need to get other people to weigh in on everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that is powerful. We're almost done with our questions. See, you did real good. We just walked through them real smooth, and you was handling it. Didn't even feel like we was, felt like a conversation. So if I were to ask you, I am, how would you complete that statement? I am.
The essence of God in human form.
Ooh, I love that. I've
And
never
female.
heard that answer. I love that. That is beautiful. There ain't nothing to say after that. I'm gonna go to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what impact or fingerprint would you like to leave on the planet or like to be known for?
All of the people that I loved and helped.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Being two or five. I mean
Mm-hmm.
I mean the masses.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And our very last question is, what would you title this chapter of your life, this season that you're in right now? If you were to give it a title, what would you call it?
Just when I thought I was grown, I found out that I wasn't, and I started more.
Okay. Okay. Wow, I love that. Just when I thought I was growing, I found out I wasn't. There's more to come.
Grown.
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 Okay.
Not growing. Just when I thought I was
I was
grown.
grown. Okay, I'm sorry. Just when I thought I was grown. I love that.
I found out,
No,
you know,
ma'am.
not yet. Not yet, but you're on your way.
That's so good. That's so good. Well, I thank you for doing this. This has been a very pleasant and just enjoyable time. I hope you feel the same way. I don't know if you have any parting words, if there's something else you want to say to our audience before you leave us, but I do appreciate you taking the time to have a conversation. I don't call these interviews, I call them conversations because that's what I wanted to feel like, a conversation. So I'll leave you to have last words.
I'm so grateful that you asked me to do this. Um, I loved it. It was wonderful. You asked me questions that just made me say out loud things that I think all the time. That,
Nice.
that's why my answers came so quick. I'm like,
Yeah.
because I've been working on myself so much, but nobody asked.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm the essence of God in female human form. That's who I am.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, not unvaluable, unlovable,
Yeah.
or little girl, or like,
Yeah.
um, thank you for allowing me that. And when you were talking, I over talked you a little bit, but you didn't hear me, so I shut up.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry.
because I wanted to tell you that there's a place for you to practice.
Mhm.
Or try it out, pilot program, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, at Cherie's project, if you
Oh,
or at Ye's, either one. If you want to do,
wow.
just want to practice, try it out, do a group, do a 4 week or 6 week or whatever you want to do. There's room for you to do that.
Oh my goodness, I feel so honored. I appreciate you saying that. Yes, definitely. And that's confirmation because the other day I wrote in my journal that I wanted to do I was like, okay, God, once you give me the go, I want to do a pilot with a few women to see how it goes so that I can get some feedback. So for you to use the word pilot, that's written in my journal.
Mhm.
So that's a yeah, yes, that's a God moment for me.
And my pilot, I'm doing I'm going to do advertisement now because you said I
Okay,
couldn't.
no, go right ahead. Please do.
I'm calling it a pilot program that I am going to be doing, teaching the first, second, and third graders reading comprehension, and we're using the arts to do it too.
Okay.
So that's a
Mhm.
pilot program that I didn't start yet. And
Okay.
the city is funding it, but you know how the city is.
Mm-hmm.
You ask them for $200,000 and they give you 50. That's how they are.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. And then don't tell them you can't do it with that because then they take the 50 away.
Oh, Lord.
So
I'm
I'm doing
not familiar
private.
with grants and all that. So, wow,
So
that's crazy.
will you please? So Yay Center. I'm asking you if you
Hmm.
will send me to my YouTube channel, if you'll send me this video just in case.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I thought I hit record, but I don't know what I was doing. I really don't. So will you send it to me
Yep.
and if I can ask you and your followers to follow
Hmm.
me on my YouTube,
Okay.
Yay Center
Yes,
with
absolutely.
development.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I will send that. So these recordings, usually this goes live. We have a couple in the funnel because we've been doing some recordings. So we have like maybe two, three women. So these go every twice a month. So we feature two women. And so when it goes, then I send the link to the individual. So now you know that's going live. But when I upload it, I can still send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then so that you can have it. Because this probably won't go live for another probably maybe 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, because we have two people ahead of you that I'd be done recordings that we have in the funnels. So we just need to release them. So, but I can when I upload this, I can send you the link. And then I gotta figure out how I send it to your YouTube channel. Oh, you know what?
Well,
I can send it to you and then you can upload it on your, because you upload videos to your YouTube channel, right?
I do.
Yeah, so if I send this to you, you can we can talk about that offline, how we get it to your channel.
And I sent you my link, and did you subscribe? Because you
No,
can.
I never got your link. You
Okay.
didn't in my text message. You haven't sent me the link yet.
You know what,
Check.
Jack? I got a cousin named Jackie, right? And
Maybe you sent it to her.
I called her and I said, Jackie, can you send me the link? Hurry up because I'm not on. I'm trying. Jackie, I don't got it. I don't got it. And she's like, okay, so what are you talking about? And who is this? And I'm like, oh, I got the wrong Jackie. I'm sorry. I couldn't even tell her it was me because I ain't talked to her in 3 years.
Oh,
So I didn't send it to her. That's what happened. That's what
never
happened.
got the link. Okay,
She got the link to my YouTube channel and she probably don't even know what it is because she knows me as Robin.
Oh, okay, okay. Probably like,
I'm looking at Jackie. Everything that I got from you is Jackie. So
okay.
I don't know. I don't understand. But if you didn't get it, I know I sent.
No. Yeah, maybe she got it because I checked my text message. Because one day when I sent the thing, I said, don't forget to send me your link so I can subscribe in our text messages. But I never got the link. So maybe it went to the other Jackie.
Right. It did. It went to her.
Okay. Okay. So just resend it and I'll go on and subscribe.
Go in my email and give me your number, please. Because I thought I was talking to you.
Yeah, I'll do that offline when we done hit recording. So, because I don't want my number out in the
Oh,
in the world. So we're gonna end this recording. I'm gonna hit stop. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it, and I pray that you have a blessed rest of your evening. And